Hi, this is James Dunlap with National Property Inspections here in Marysville, Washington. Today I'd like to just go through an electrical panel inspection with you. So first thing, when you approach the panel, you're looking to make sure that you have enough space to work in. What's required is 3 feet, so just make sure you're not storing any items right next to the panel that would limit the access. I've already pulled off the cover. Didn't want to have to fumble with the screwdriver and the camera at the same time, so cover's sitting there. But when I pulled off the cover, I noticed that they used these sharp pointed screws. Now these screws, when they go through the holes on the other side of the hole, oftentimes is wire. So if you were to penetrate the wire, you could short something out or electrocute yourself. So other things that we're looking at is the load. This is a 200 amp panel, so we're looking at all these 220 breakers here. You add up the breakers and that will tell you the draw and whether or not you have sufficient amperage for what you're drawing. This panel is fine. They're well within the 200 amp range. And then moving up, we're looking at these knockouts. See, all of these wires are penetrated through sleeves, and then no open knockouts without wire in them, and that's important. So we look up and then down here as well. So we see a little bit of debris, and we like to generally have that cleaned up, but for the most part this is in good shape. Then we do a scan of all the breakers and the wiring, making sure that the wiring is appropriately sized for the breaker, and also making sure that the breakers aren't, I don't see any burned wires, I don't see any broken breakers. Everything looks pretty tidy. Just kind of scan through. Yeah, don't see any deficiencies there. We're also looking at the service. So it's a 200 amp panel. Make sure that the service wire is big enough to handle that 200 amp load, and that all looks good. Also, when scanning these breakers and the wiring, you make sure that you don't have any solid aluminum. Solid aluminum wiring, which was back more in the 60s and 70s, now is considered enough of a fire hazard that it's like 400 times more likely to start a fire than your solid copper wiring. So we're just making sure that none of that is there. And this panel, or this house, actually was built in the 80s, so the likelihood of you having aluminum wiring is very slim, but you still check for that. Third thing we look for is to make sure that no wiring is running across the face of the panel or across the breakers, so that when the panel's put on, it's not pinched against anything, there's nothing being cut or exposed. And this looks all pretty nice. This is a pretty good panel. So other than the screws, I would say that they're in pretty good shape. Thanks for watching.